Today, I request you to sit down as we dive deep to understand the death of the ancient saints. As you know, all of us shall die one day as the result of sin. But there are many different types of deaths. The first one is when one man slews another man. The second one is when God himself slews a man. The third one, when evil forces slew a man. And finally, the last one is when a man dies naturally, a natural death. All the types of deaths are different, but we are going to break down one by one. When Adam was created in God's image, he was immortal. Remember, God doesn't create something that dies. Adam lived 930 years. When his time of death came, he did not just die as some of us die today, but the Lord appeared to him in a vision and said that his time of death has approached. For in the mind of Adam had not any thought that a person can die, but understood it after the Lord appeared to him and knew that his time of death has reached. So then what happened to him is that he summoned his sons and reprimanded them, for he said, "My time of death has reached," and he taught them the laws and commandments of God. Then Adam gave up his ghost and died. What do you think is this type of death? Let's look at the second death. When Cain, the firstborn of Adam and Eve, was born, then Abel also was born. They often lived together, so a thought came to Adam and he said, "We must find a way to separate these sons, Cain and Abel, for if they stay together, Cain might slew Abel, for Cain was as bold as a lion and so wild, but Abel was humble." So Adam decided to separate these sons by their works. Cain they made a farmer, and Abel they made a shearer. It came to pass that Cain slew Abel, so that's when a man slews another man, and it carries consequences. We head over to the other type of death. The first question comes saying, "Do you know how Cain slew Abel? And what weapon he used?" The answer is, Cain slew Abel using stones. He struck him with stones to death. We head over to the other type of death. After he slew Abel, he was banished from the presence of God and became a homeless wanderer. So Cain started building cities and dwelt there. Thereby a question comes and says, how did Cain die? The answer simply can be, Cain was sitting in his house one day and a wind came thereby, and the stones he used to build his house struck him, and he died. For he killed Abel using the stones, by the stones he died. That's another type of death. We then transcend to another type of death. When sin had taken hold of Sodom and Gomorrah, for their wickedness was great in the sight of God, so he sent down fire and destroyed them. Compare this also, Abraham lived 180 plus years. When his time of death reached, the Lord came to him and said, "Your time of death has come, and you will be gathered to your ancestors." And then Abraham died. But the way Abraham died was amazing, for he said, "Let me sleep," for they knew he was just going to sleep, not knowing that he was going to die. For he lay down as to sleep, and when they came to him, was found cold and dead. It's hard to believe, but all the people don't die in the same way. Some of them God calls them because they are his own, and others God strikes them. So there is a difference between perishing, sleeping, and death. They differ, also the places where they go. A righteous man cannot go where a wicked man goes. So we have studied the different types of death, but the question that blows our minds is, where do a person goes after death? That's a long story. Some say heaven and others say hell, but that's not true at all. Only a person who died can reveal to us the truth. Not only that, but also the ancient scripts reveals it, and I know we can rely on them. Let's travel back in the days of Adam and Eve. So we are to study how Eve died. It's not so much different from that of Adam, but Adam was the first to die before Eve. But the way Eve died was even more primitive. He was just standing there weeping for the death of Adam, and also she realized that we'll die soon after it came in his mind. He gave up his ghost and died also. Adam, Eve, and Abel, whom Cain slew, were buried by angels in the Garden of Eden. So if you look deep and try to study the death of the ancient men, it's totally different now. so you have come to the mindset that these deaths differ. But I promise you that in the next video, we'll try to break it down for you, such that you will learn about the mysteries of the places where the dead go. And the truth is that we wrong about heaven and hell. But don't worry, you are in the right place. What you did not know, you shall understand, and what you had little knowledge about, we shall break it all down for your full understanding and make sure that in any new upload, we bring something new and delighting.